many hearts have you broken with those great big beautiful eyes? Those great big beautiful eyes that tell such beautiful lies.
How many times have you kissed somebody like you kissed me then? I don't.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all ships at sea. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important message from the Prepared Mind Network.
Oh, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is Sunday Night Live. We are at the zoo, and folks, if the profit of prepping, right? Thank you, Mr. T, for that promo. Yeah, it seems like everything we predicted is coming true. You know, like we're up to bat and we just hit that one right out of the park. And speaking of the blue wrench, that's the symbol of those who have the power to make your day. So if you want to be a troll, you want to get out of line, that's what the mighty blue wrench is for. So we invite trolls, speak up, make yourselves known, we'll take care of you. For everyone else, you know how to behave. It is the zoo, folks. We got YouTube here. We've got Patreon here. It is going to be a good time. We're going to have a hell of a time, folks. I hope you brought your beverages because you're going to need it. Some of the topics I have picked out are just mind-bending SHTF stupid. But it is Sunday Night Live, and that means you guys, you get to pick the questions. You get to pick the subject matter. All you got to do is hit that Super Chats button right up there. Pow. Give us your question. Give us your comment. Give us your statement. Give us your prognostication. Hey, I can't be the only prophet of prepping. I know you guys are as well. I get information from you all the time, and I'm like, oh, that's good, right? We get that a lot is, yep, good thinking. You think about stuff, folks, and then you bring it here, and we distribute the information, the concepts, the ideas. We all get to think about it for ourselves. Is this good for us? Is it good for someone else? We get to choose. Oh, yeah. We'll be talking about free choice, folks. That used to be what freedom was all about. Choosing your own destiny, making your own decisions, whether it's education or your profession, where you want to live, how you want to be, who you want to be. Now they're trying to push everybody into behaving the exact same. I was talking to someone today down here in the swampy bayou infested South, and they're like, what? I said, listen, in California, right? It doesn't matter how I say something. It doesn't matter the tone. It doesn't matter the intent I have, or even the person who I'm talking to. A third person can say, John, I don't like the way you talk to that person. That's sexual harassment. And they can file charges. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah. And that was 10 years ago. Imagine how bad it is today in corporate world with all this bullshit going on, trying to make everyone conform so nobody gets offended. Folks, it's beyond offense now. These fucking people who said I couldn't compliment a woman on the way she dresses. You know, you can't do that, but they can come to your house, knock on your door, and demand that you get the Jim Jones juice. That's fine. That's not offensive. Are you fucking kidding me? It couldn't be more offensive than that because they're in your face. All right, so let's do this. Let's get to your questions, your comments. And I've got one right off the bat. Pow. Jolene doesn't even know about this one. Okay, and it's a fucking doozy too. It is Sunday Night Live. This is the zoo. It is your questions, your comments. Now, I do have my own list. Sometimes I'll dig into it. Sometimes you guys pull stuff off of my list. Somehow magically you know what I'm going to talk about or what to talk about. And there you are, right? There you are. So let's do this. Let's start with this one. This one comes from Darcy, and she asks or says, hello, John. Getting my question in early for a change. And yes, she did with a big old super chat donation. Says, if the National Guard can be called upon to drive buses in Massachusetts and buses in Ohio and fill in for healthcare workers in New York State, then why can't they be put in all U.S. ports to unload the ships? Well. Yeah, that's right. Apparently, doctors, nurses, medical professionals. Apparently, there's a warehouse full of National Guardsmen just waiting to fill those positions. Fully trained, certified, lots of experience, understand state requirements, no problem at all. Bus drivers, no problem. You can drive kids around. Just put on your camis, go hop in a bus, go pick up some kids. Wait, who's going to tell the bus driver where they're driving, what the route is, what the kids are? Really? Anyways, yeah. Now, U.S. ports and ships. So this is great, Darcy, you brought this up, because Crispy Bacon shared with me not too long ago. He's like, hey, John, think about it. Fucking think about it. He goes, we're having a problem with the supply chain. And Chris is big on logistics. He's fucking expert on logistics, right? Oh, wait. Yeah, he's an expert because he actually knows what the fuck he's talking about. Unlike Dr. Doom, the little bastard. Anyways, he says, so we're having a problem with getting enough trucks on the road, with enough drivers on the road to deliver food and other goods all over the country. We're having a problem with that. Well, right, parts, trucks are breaking down, cars are breaking down, pickups are breaking down, locomotives, we're having problems in that industry, airplanes, right? We're having problems getting parts, but trucks is the big one. Our country, really, the backbone of our delivery infrastructure, our retail infrastructure is semi-trucks, long-haul truckers. So their trucks are breaking down and they can't get the replacement parts. Now, those parts are on ships right offshore, off of LA, right off of Huntington Beach, Long Beach, LA. They're right there. And they can't get anything off the ships because there's not enough workers and trucks at the docks to move everything. So because of that, there's not enough truck parts. And so we can't fix the trucks to get things off the ships. You see what they're doing here is they've created the problem and it's now exacerbating, right? All they need to do is find out what fucking ship they're on, get that ship to the port, unload it with what resources and human manpower they have, and get these fucking parts out there. But that's, folks, the world we're living in now, where all of our problems are being created not by us. It's being created by the government. That's right, the dickheads in DC, the dickheads in Sacramento, at every state capital where there's a Democrat sitting in a chair, shining it with his big fat ass. There's your problem right there. Let's see. Get the containers off the ship. Bam. Get the parts out there for trucks, cars, semis, planes, agricultural tractors. Anybody? How about industrial equipment, industrial parts? All right, the factories we do have here, and we have a lot, just not the powerhouse we used to be. You bet. So back to Darcy's brilliant statement question. Why can't they put National Guardsmen and U.S. ports to unload the ships? I'll tell you why. Well, right, we need more trucks and forklifts and stuff like that to get the containers off. We need more crane operators. But the unions run the ports. That is correct, folks. Unions, long associated with socialist mentality and ideals. The unions probably wouldn't like it if the government stepped in and said, we'll be taking over. This is a national emergency. When you've got over 70 tankers offshore, camped, dropped anchor, every one of those shipping containers, right? There's thousands, hundreds, on a boat, on a ship, and then there's 70 ships. They've been backlogged for months, just sitting offshore. Unfucking believable, folks. All right. Thank you very much. And then again, Crispy Bacon goes, oh, John, by the way, there's a huge oil spill off the coast of Southern California, Huntington Beach there. Right in the same area, now there's an oil slick from a major fucking catastrophe. I'm sure Halliburton will step right up and volunteer to do that for a massive fee. Woo! Welcome to the Prepared Mind channel. It is Sunday Night Live. Also, Heidi checks in with a $10 super chat donation. She says, keep on, keeping on, Semper Fi. Thank you, Heidi, Heidi, Heidi. It's always good to know you're in the house. Folks, we have so many people here that don't say anything. They just show up, participate. They're just here and then sharing on the outside. And everyone is needed. Everyone has a part to play. Everyone has a role to fill. Everyone has something they can do to contribute to making America the America we remember. Currently, all of our efforts are being taken to try and stop the destruction, right? Stop the insanity. I don't think it's going to stop. I really don't. These people are not quitting. They're not giving up. And I have the evidence to prove it. But before we get to my evidence, let's see what you guys want to talk about. If you've got something you want to talk about, something you want to say, a question you want to ask, hit that super chat button. Put the question down. Jolene will grab it. Put it on the screen for me right here. Bam. It's right there. And we got Orlando. He says, hey, John, I just finished watching The Forever Purge. Best damn example of what a true SHTF scenario could look like when the people don't listen to the government. This movie is a must-see for prepping research. I'm going to tell you folks what. Yeah, The Forever Purge. There was actually, right, it's incredible. It was supposed to be an anti-free. I watched like a minute and a half teaser. Like a trailer, a movie trailer. And I watched the Forever Purge movie trailer. And I couldn't believe it. I'm like, that is nothing more than an advertisement for freedom. Folks down in the South, I mean, I guess there's cerveza bug this and cerveza. I'm just not seeing it. I know people are sick. I also know people are getting very, very sick from drinking the Kool-Aid. You bet they're getting sick from drinking the Kool-Aid. That's who I'm reading about, hearing about, and seeing. In fact, someone right here in the R Syndicate, folks, sadly had a relative die because of that, from the Kool-Aid. Pisses me off. Again, I told Lucas, don't fucking do it, kiddo. My boy, Luke. You guys remember Luke. Don't do it. Wow. It's incredible. The Forever Purge. They're trying to scare America. Folks, it is so chicken shit. Now I've been accused of fear porn. John, prophet of prepping you. You're just trying to make money. You're trying to cash in on prepping. You're trying to make $1 million on everybody by scaring them with your prognostications, your predictions of dire emergencies. Are you fucking kidding me? Number one, does this look like the fucking Taj Mahal to you? No, right? We're all hunkered in the bunker. And, hunker in the bunker. Isn't that a song or is that bungle in the jungle? I've done both, folks. Just unfucking believable. Yeah, no, this is not fear porn, folks. I talk about reality. We get into the weeds and talk about shit it's the fan reality. It is the government that is using fear porn. Hollywood, fear porn. Because Hollywood's that way and DC's that way. That's how this works, folks. They use fear, coercion, fraud, deceit, lies. Everything I talk about. You just need to open your eyes, open your front door, and there it is. And this is if and only if you go to Patreon, The Prepared Mind at Patreon, you can get all the news articles that Jolene and I look at. You can get all the video articles I can't talk to you about. Videos, tweets, opinions, fucking articles, links to news stories. It's all on Patreon. If you come over there, folks, $2 a month, that's it. $2 a month, and you can do that. All right, we got Redbeards Racing with a $5 super chat donation. He says, I once complimented a woman, and she said that's none of my goddamn business. I tell you, this friend of mine, I was like, you can't say a word. And they're like, no way. Because, again, I'm in the free South. They have no idea that it's incredible. It's not like they're not, this person is not backwoods, hillbilly, stupid. Just not exposed to it because this person is working in the real economy, a real economy, an intelligent real economy that says, hey, look, the interaction and interplay between men and women is a real thing, right? That's what we do. Hey, you look nice today. Now, when it comes to Joe Biden, right? When it comes to Joe Biden, he's allowed to do whatever he wants, you know, Mr. Sniff.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Yeah, that guy, he can sniff hair and grope on little girls, but you're not allowed to stare at a woman for more than 1 second, or you're probably doing something bad. Anyways, yeah, there's areas of the country, folks, where they have no idea this is what's happening. But there's other areas of the country where you can't be a human. All right, let's move on. We got Chester Wolf, the Griffin, in the house with a $5 super chat. He says, the potato in chief. He's talking about Gigi Biden. He says, the potato in chief is in such bad state of mental decline that mainstream news in other countries are talking about it. Your opinion? Oh, I've got an opinion. Joe Biden is an incredible buffoon. He really is not running the country. So the question is, who is? It's not Kamala Harris. It's not Kamala, whatever her name is. It's not her. It's not her at all. She is not in charge. It's not Joe Biden. Because every time, and it just happened this weekend, folks. This weekend, Joe says, okay, I'll take some questions now from the media. You know, the way the president used to, or the way the White House press secretary used to. Now, Jen Psaki, Raggedy Ann, that fucking liar, as soon as she's done making her statements, she runs. There'll be no questions. Joe Biden gets done this weekend. He goes, I'll take some questions, right? And his handlers ran out like, no, Joe, there'll be none of that. And they constantly, as soon as the statements are done, the press corps is chased out of the room, shouted down, because they don't want Joe to talk. I saw another interview, kind of off the podium, like a reporter happened to somehow get through all the Secret Service and talking to Joe. You know, asshole Joe, he knows. He'll tell you. He's got his fucking mask hanging off his ear. Doesn't really know where he's at. Fumbling around trying to talk like a human being. It would be funny if he weren't the president. It could be funny if our country was in good shape. If everything was fine, the economy was good, the legal system was working. We had our jobs and the education system was normal. They weren't running around teaching everyone that they need to cut their pecker off or glue one to their fucking forehead, right? You know, the usual stuff we get now. It'd be great if that was the scene and we didn't have all these radical left-wing ding-dong groups out there threatening to murder everyone. That would be great if we had, you know, normal America and a bumbling ding-dong in the White House. Here we go, okay, that's Jimmy Carter #2. That's all. As it is, everything is absolutely fucked up. And here we are with Joe Biden. And the whole world sees it. But the United States of America, the land of the free, the home of the brave, they don't know fucking shit because the mainstream media won't make a big deal out of it. You know, Joe Biden, who said, if you don't vote Democrat, you ain't black. What? Oh, yeah, that guy. All right, we got Mr. Skylight checking in with a massive $99.99 super chat donation. And I want to thank you, Mr. Skylight, for all your help behind the scenes, a huge R Syndicate contributor in the world of information, as well as Sunday Night Live. Folks, this is literally your show. I'm just the guy on the camera. That's all. Right now, I'm not saying the prepared mind right up here, you know, in the old noggin. Not saying that's not active and working, but you guys actually get me on the camera. You keep me here. So I'm not running around, you know, hammering nails into decks and nailing, you know, roofs, roofing material onto roofs. right? I could be doing that too. I'm qualified to do those things, but apparently this is the place to be because I'm talking to all of you folks. We're over 700 live right now. And as the show goes, it always gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask you right now, we're talking about shit hitting the fan, where we're at in this country. Send an email, send a text message with a link to this video and tell people, come and watch now. Learn what the fuck is going on and what you need to start doing about it, how to think about it, how to prepare. I've gotten just unbelievable bunch of information coming. Anyways, let's get into what Mr. Skylight has to say. He says, yo, bro, Red October is upon us. How much more SHTF will it take to wake up the normies? Well, I'll tell you what, man. Red October is a Soviet Russia communist, right, holiday. You know, kind of like that movie Hunt for the Red October. They named a big submarine after it. Red October it's red blood, Bolshevik takeover, right? Capture of a nation by communists. And so that has every year just kind of been in the background. Like Red down there in Texas, he's got his, and he doesn't want a huge channel, but Red has his channel. He does some philosophy and some throwing of knives. Red's a good man. Anyways, his nickname is Red October, right? It's just, hey, Red October, bad. Communism, bad. Be aware. Anyways, he says, how much more will it take to wake up the normies? They're waking up left and right. Left and right. Wait till I read this, right? Where the heck is it? It's right here. I got it. Let's see. Here it is. This comes from Eric. Real human being, Red. I'm sorry, Mr. Skylight. Real human being. A brand new, or shall we say a normie, right? New guy, normie to the world of prepping. He wrote this: my eyes got open to everything in one recent weekend. It felt like I had been hit by a bolt of lightning. The whole reality, he says, my whole reality was reduced to ashes in a period of 2 days. I'm just a regular construction worker guy who has a family. Now I'm frantically trying to get as prepared as possible. I'm so far behind most of the people in this group. He's talking about the Prepared Mind Network. He says, I'm praying I can put it all together. Eric, you're a normie. You're someone who is busy obeying the fucking law, paying your taxes, taking care of your family and your responsibilities, being an American and a man, right? Trusting the government to do their job, right? You do your job. Your family, they do their job. Kids do what kids do. They're being kids. The dog in the yard, it's busy digging holes or making poop. Dogs do what dogs do. And you figured that the mainstream media was doing what they were supposed to be doing. And the government was supposed to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. But they haven't. They have intentionally been destroying shit, Eric. And Mr. Skylight, Eric is now awake and representative of so many people who, in recent times, he doesn't say exactly what the date was, Eric doesn't, but in one recent weekend, meaning not so in the not so distant past, all of a sudden, pow, he wakes up. Fucking red pill with a good dose of black pill in there, I bet. And he realizes, oh shit. Now here's the good news, Eric. The good news is you're a normie. The good news is we're all normal too. Preppers are not fanatical fucking morons or some kind of wacko rejects. I know I'm in a bunker, but that's how I roll. And I've been playing this fucking game since like 1985 after seeing the movie Red Dawn and fucking Rambo and everything else, and then reading books and going, oh shit, not liking this. That was a long time ago. So I've had a long time to get to the place where I've got a bunker. Still, you don't have to be some kind of wacko who likes to hunker in the bunker, even though hunkering in the bunker is pretty fun. Right. So anyways, point is you can get prepared. There is time. Do not panic. See how I'm not using fear? Unlike the fucking media who wants to go panic, panic. Go get your Jim Jones juice. Get your Kool-Aid before you die. But everyone's going to die. You're killing grandma unless you get some Kool-Aid. Right. That's not fear. Right? So what I'm saying is, take it easy, man. We got a bunch of new people here. And I want you to share and spread the links to this video right now. Cut and paste the URL, the address, so that people can come and watch and hear. Yeah, we got new people everywhere, folks. They're waking up right now, Mr. Skylight, and they just need to find us. See, that's the deal. Everyone knows there's a fucking problem. What do you mean I can't buy a new truck? I can't get a new car. Where the fuck are they? Oh, you mean there's one little chip? One little chip? Car's no good. Yeah, isn't technology wonderful? We don't need to manufacture anything in the United States, not when we can trust our allies over in China. They've got the best slave labor. Money doesn't have to pay, right? Here we are. People are waking up going, this ain't right. Why is inflation getting out of hand? Who the fuck is the government to tell me what to do? I'm doing my job. I work, I pay taxes, I obey the law, my kids, my dogs, my wife, my husband, whatever. Why is it so bad? What the fuck happened that all of a sudden America is broke? Not only financially broke, but morally fucking broke. You can put it all together, Eric. Get food. Keep it simple. Start simple. I know you're just a regular construction worker guy. I like that description. Regular construction worker guy. I was a regular construction worker general contractor, right? Just one test away from what you are. We're all the same, folks. We're all good Americans. Get together food. Rice. Get a lot of rice. Beans. Okay, beans are good. You can get them dry. They'll last years and years and years. You don't have to get the super long-term food storage just to get rice and beans together. Get a couple 100 pounds of that. No problem. Get some canned meats. They're expensive. I get it. But they'll last for years and years, and you can store it and add to it. But I recommend 3 months worth of food. Not because I think stores are going to be closed for 3 fucking months, even though it's a potential. But there could be an interruption here. There could be an interruption there, 2 or 3 days, a week maybe, where there'll be fewer items on the shelves and you can supplement your food out of your preps. You could have some problems in your neighborhood. You could have someone needs help and you can contribute a little bit and others can as well to help somebody, you know, if they're not a fucking communist. If they're a communist, folks, you don't get to volunteer. They come and make demands. Which leads me to my second point, Eric. Get yourself a shotgun. If you're not already a veteran or a firearms enthusiast of, target shooting, hunting, right? If you don't already have one, I do recommend a shotgun. Only don't use birdshot. Get buckshot. Buckshot. You'll get, 9, 12, or 15 pellets. But those pellets aren't pellets, folks. They're not BB gun pellets. They're like a 30 caliber pellet, meaning you're spraying the equivalent of an entire magazine out of a pistol in one shot with buckshot. Very good to protect you in case of alien invasion. If you get my meaning. And alien means anything that is foreign to us as Americans. What's foreign to us as Americans? I know I'm getting kind of long-winded on this, but this was a great fucking email and I really wanted to answer it. What is foreign? What is alien to Americans? America, land of the free, home of the brave. So if freedom is what America is, what is foreign to that is tyranny. Tyrants are foreigners. Tyrants are alien to what America is about. Anyone who wants to take your liberty, take your freedom, is both a fucking tyrant and they are alien to who we are. There is much alien to us as fucking men on the moon or even men from Mars or women from Venus, right? If they're not from this country, not from this planet, they're alien. If they're not American, they too are alien. Self-defense, food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, all that stuff. And one last thing, Eric, you can go to thepreparedmind.club. That's our website, or go to any other website. Now, there are links off of our website to things we can't sell. We do affiliate marketing so we can just direct you to other people's fucking stores. Right? I'm tired of all this shit, right? I don't have a fucking warehouse full of stuff. We just want to direct people to get things. That's all. Fair prices, you bet. But hey, prep at your own risk, right? Most of the world thinks everything's fine. Government has warehouses full of stuff. Hey, most people think that they make food at superstores. Did you know that? Most people think they don't even understand the concept of what a farm is. What do you mean? What do you need farming for? We got a grocery store right there. That's where you get the lettuce. That's where you get the meat. That's where they make the food. People actually think that. They actually think that. Now, there's ignorance, and I'm laughing at them, but sadly, that's the truth. They think that's where food is made. Now, I just talked about an alien, someone who is alien to the American way of thought, the American way of life. And I will get to Jenny Jen's question here. I promise, Jenny, I'm not ignoring you, babe, right? I just got so much here based off of Mr. Skylight and then Eric's thing, right? What is an alien? Someone who is un-American. To America, aliens are anyone who is the opposite, the antithesis, the negative, the dark side. Those who are unfamiliar with, don't understand the philosophical, legal, spiritual reasons behind the concept of freedom. And here comes this little fucking turd. And his name is Dr. Fauci. And this is what he has to say. Quote, "There comes a time when you have to give up what you consider your individual right of making your own decision." End quote. I know, folks, that's a fucking unbelievable statement. There comes a time when you have to give up what you consider your individual right of making your own decision. There's 5 different references that he makes to you. He says there comes a time when you have to give up what you consider to be your individual right of making your own decision. A fucking head explosion. No fucking way. This is just Mr. T, come up with something on that one. That fucking quote. There comes a time when you have to get, folks, is shit hit the fan, right? I could never predict anyone could be this bold, this much of an asshole as Dr. fucking Doom here. I mean, Arnold was brazen. Screw your freedoms, right? That's coming from an Austrian, the son of a fucking Nazi. Arnold Schwarzenegger. He had a chance, folks. He had a chance with all of us. He has now blown it. Now, I didn't give a fuck if he was cheating on Maria Shriver, his wife, with the fucking maid. I mean, I that's just personal indiscretion. He's stepping on us when he says, screw your freedoms. Folks, God bless America. Our freedom, our liberty, the Declaration of Independence, our Constitution, your mothers and fathers, your grandparents, bless them all. As far as these people go, I got nothing for them. The Bidens, Harrises, the Obamas, who are pulling the strings for their masters, right? I love America, what it's really supposed to be. And that is some fine imported Scottish water. I want to thank you out there who have made terrific donations in that regard. Thank you. Whoa. There comes a time. I'll fucking show you a time, Dr. Doom. Let us move on. We got Jenny Jen checks in with a $19.99 super chat donation, and she says this: not sure if this is appropriate, but regarding the tequila for school-age minors, enlist a good lawyer to draft a valid religious exemption or find help getting into homeschooling. Sorry if we got foot and mouth disease. Sorry if I've got foot and mouth disease. Well, number one, you don't have foot and mouth disease. I think you worded that pretty damn well, Jen. Now, exactly. Jen's from California. actually ran into me, believe it or not, at a MMA fight. Not in the ring. I don't want to mess with Jen. She'll fuck you up. Anyways, no, it was met a long time ago. So I know where she's at. It's in California. Governor Newsom, in his brilliance after the recall election, enough said, and he's still governor, enough said. Comes out and says, yeah, as soon as the FDA says it's fine, we're going to make sure kids get jacked up in school or to go to school. Now, here's the deal. Get a religious exemption, but your child will be castigated, picked on, treated differently. Have you seen how these liberal fucking Democrats, these pile of shit socialists, attack people when they have adequate numbers? They're chicken shit, folks. Now, where I'm at, I actually saw a Biden-Harris bumper sticker today. I couldn't believe it. A Biden-Harris bumper sticker. It was right on the bumper. I'll just leave it at that. I don't need to say anything else. I was like, that's the only one I've seen. Yeah, since I got here. I've seen some Biden-Harris flags in the yards, the little signs. Not much. Usually it's, let's see, fuck Biden, Trump, make America great again. I've seen the governor's name on flags, on people's conveyances, their vehicles. Unbelievable. If you're in a conservative area, even in a state like California, there are charter schools, there are homeschooling ways, there's websites to help you get your children homeschooling, to get them out of the public system. Now, if you stay in the public system, they're going to attack you. Anywhere there's like 3 Democrats to 1 Republican, 1 Republican, even 2 Democrats to 1 Republican, they'll pick on people. They will attack. They will gang up on people, folks. That's how they do it. That's what they do. They're scum. Now, I'm going to get back into the questions. So yes, Jenny Jen, very good. Get a religious exemption if you can. If you want your kids even in the environment where teachers can pick on them, where their students can pick on them, where the administration can treat them like shit. I know, folks, from experience, how schools treat kids they don't like because of their political affiliation. Kids making political statements positive for Trump or the Republican Party, not allowed. While they have all of their left-wing rainbow communist bullshit pasted to the fucking walls in classes. Oh yeah, folks. Hypocrites and liars. That's the 2 key ingredients in the recipe for totalitarianism. Okay, let's move on. Like I said, back to the comments. You guys put in a super chat. Give me your statement, your question, your comment, your joke. I don't care what it is. I'll make you famous. And so we're almost up to 1,000 subscribers online live right now. Share the link, share the URL, just get it out there. People want to wake up. They want to be convinced now. It used to be, I don't want to fucking hear it. Now they're like, convince me. Give me the information. I'll fucking give it to you. Crazy Uncle checks in with a $5 super chat. He says, prepper tip. With winter coming, it is time to update your vehicle kit for cold weather. Coats, boots, hats, gloves. I'm sure John has more to say. Oh, you bet. You're still going to need, right, the elements. You got to see food, water, right? Well, the coats, gloves, and hats, that's clothing, shelter and clothing. Your car in winter, if you're in one of the northern climates, could end up being your life support shelter. So you do need to have adequate water. Now, it's important to note, some things don't freeze when it gets wet. Let's see, polyglycol, your antifreeze, but you can't drink that. Wouldn't recommend it. But you can, it's something like Gatorade. It's got electrolytes in it. It's got sugars in it. It could help you feel a lot better if you're stuck in your vehicle, trapped for any number of reasons, or you're at someone else's place, right? So having food, high quality food. And here's another one. I know, but I'm going to say it. Snicker bars. candy, but I like Snicker bars. Right? It's got chocolate, it's got peanuts, it's got caramel, nougat. I know it sounds like a commercial, but Snickers, right? Even their commercials are like, dude, you're kind of hangry, right? Hungry and angry. That sugar will get into your system. It'll give you some energy. It'll give you something to help you get by. Have, some MREs or some survival chow that doesn't require cooking. Also, get those chemical heater pads, right? That you break the thing and it gets warm, keep you warm in the vehicle, but also kind of warm up your food. And if the liquid you have is frozen, you can put it on one of those little heating pads and help warm it up. You can take something frozen and hold it against your body to thaw it, but then you're cooling your body down, and you don't want to be cold in cold weather. That can lead to a lot of problems. Two Owls checks in with a $3 super sticker. Thank you, Two Owls, for all your contributions. Where normally Two Owls makes a lot of contributions is on the Monday through Friday show, folks. Now we do this is all Q&A. Sunday Night Live at the Zoo is all Q&A. Your questions, my answers. But during the week, folks, it's just Patreon. Monday through Friday, we do a 30-minute, sometimes 40 or 50, but mostly it's 30-minute Q&A where you guys can just come on live with me all week long as the week progresses. All right, we've got, Taurus Oris checks in with a $49.99 super chat donation. Thank you, Taurus Oris. It really is a great fucking name. Some of you guys have screen names that just blow me away, crack me the fuck up, and Taurus Oris is a big one. Now, I've talked about this being an international program. Right now, folks, we're just up to almost 1,000 subscribers live at this very second. People come on, they go off, more people come on, but we build, send this description. But this is live right now around the world. We've got people in England, Scotland, Ireland, way down under in Australia. We've got people in Mexico. I believe Carlos Granados in Mexico, right? We've had people as far south as Tasmania get a hold of me. Of course, the whole world, but right now we have Remy Mersch from the Netherlands. And he does a €20 super chat donation. He says, Uncle Harry's legs let Russia finish the Nord Stream pipeline. Now Europe have to pay to the commies. Can't we buy from the U.S.? This has been a huge deal, Remy. Europe and its energy needs. Right? In the United States, we have an incredible amount of energy reserves. That is oil in the ground. But they haven't wanted to tap it. They want to use and exhaust everything else. Right? Now, Joe Biden has shut down, I guess, the North Slope. If not all of it, at least portions of it. He's killed the Keystone Pipeline and other oil and energy pipelines coming from Canada to the United States and intrastate pipelines. Why is it Joe Biden wants to hammer the U.S. and make us reliant? Right? Why is it they claim they want carbon-free energy and then they don't do anything to get us reliable baseload carbon-free energy, which is nuclear? Oh, wait. Now he's waited to make sure that we have, we got Bill Gates going together with Warren Buffett, and they're building a nuclear power plant called an SMR, right? Small modular reactor. They're coming up with new technology, but don't worry, the big guys will get in it and they'll make all the money. Still, now we go to Ramey's question, right? Why did Biden finish the Nord Stream pipeline? Now, my way of thinking is totally unique and different. I think Europeans should have a choice. Get energy from the U.S. or get energy from Russia or from the Middle East, and let the free market decide the price. But as things are, right, the Russians have come in. They've screwed up the whole system in Europe. Joe Biden's done everything he can, as well as a little bit of Kool-Aid for everybody, mandates. He's come in and screwed up Europe as well. And now, guess what? there are so many problems with every sector of our economy, whether it's law, finance, education, immigration, oh yeah, and energy. They've screwed up the entire supply chain for products we need and energy. And now the price is going up. You bet, just what we needed, higher energy prices. It's going to continue to go up, folks. I'm expecting $100 barrel oil by the end of the year, if not sooner. I mean, we've got, let's see, October, November, December. We've got the last quarter, Q4. I expect wholeheartedly oil to be up. Now, am I recommending you go and invest in oil? No, I'm not. Because for all I know, they could crash it down to negative $40 a barrel again. Why would they do that? I don't know. They do everything so bass-ackwards and fucking stupid that you never know what they're going to do. But I do expect and anticipate, if this is the direction they're going, oil prices up. If they're printing the fuck out of the currency so much that inflation is going up, I'm anticipating everything is going to get more expensive. Energy in Europe, food in Europe. Expect it, Ramey. I don't know what to tell you. Hey, we got Strong Back Manufacturing. Hey, bro, I hope you sent me a message. I hope you're doing good, man. Been wondering where you were all weekend. All right. And this is what Strong Back Manufacturing has to say. He says, I'm real concerned about the food supply completely crashing. Woo! He says, I need some advice on how to build a MAG group, a Make America Great group. Do you have any suggestions on how to start a legal group beyond the friends circle? Wolverines, Bee-Otches. Wolverines, bitch. Yeah. If you're in the South, if you're in an area that is heavily Republican, your odds of putting together a good group are better. I've heard some complaints lately that, well, I thought my neighbor as a veteran, or I thought my neighbor as law enforcement, or I thought my neighbor as a hunter was a really good, solid ally to have. But because of the cerveza bug and the consequential Jim Jones juice that everyone's being taken, it's a further way to divide us and make it harder for us to come together. My recommendation here, Strong Back Manufacturing, is that with a few questions, you can run into people that are allies for yourself. But I think the putting together a Make America Great group, right, which means politically, prepper-wise, self-defense, right? What makes America so great, right? All of the things we are. Decent, moral, law-abiding people. Good people is what we're looking for. You need to go to places where good people hang out. I like the shooting range. I like gun stores especially. I just do. I can go right in there and just start talking and bullshitting, and you're going to find out right away who's on your side and who isn't, right? And in a gun store, I don't care if I offend any fucking liberals. I don't give a shit. I don't give a frog's fat ass if I offend somebody, because I just identified someone that I need to keep an eye on. It's the way I see it. But yeah, you can go in there and you don't have to be a loud asshole or obnoxious. You can just talk to them and say, hey, look, and start meeting people. One of the things I've done to test this theory, just walk up and down the aisles. Now, I'm a conversationalist. I can converse pretty easy with people, as you imagine. I have a lot of opinions and information, so I can talk about anything. If I go down an aisle and I see somebody looking at cleaning supplies for their shotgun, I can either say, hey, that's the cleaning kit I've got. Or I can say, hey, have you bought one of those before? I'm looking for a cleaning kit. What's your opinion? And just start a conversation, strike it up, right? If this is the person, if looking at them, you deem them to be a possible candidate, right? Then that's a great way to go about doing it, is just introducing yourself and talking to people, sharing with them some of your opinions. I mean, you can just say, man, what do you think about all this shit's going on? You think we're going to have a problem with civil unrest? And you open the question up. So gun stores, sporting goods stores, gun ranges are great places to go. Now, I know this sounds kind of funny, But if you want people's opinions, go to a bar. People have a couple of drinks, they'll fucking tell you what they're thinking. And in most cases, when I do that, I run into Republicans, because the bars I go to aren't effete, stuck up, snobby fucking bars where everyone's got their fucking pinky in the air drinking their rainbow martinis. So when I go to a locals hangout, typically I run into really Republican people that I would want on my side. Not necessarily saying the people I've talked to. I would say, hey, you're in. Call this fucking number when the balloon goes up. Right? We'll tell you where to meet. But I've run into people, folks, like there's one old guy at one place I went to, found out he's the owner of the establishment, and we're just sitting at the end of the bar bullshitting, find out he's the owner. But he said some shit that I'm like, hey man, you need to keep that down. You're gonna get in trouble here. Your fucking opinion is right on 100%, but we're not allowed to say those words. And I can't even repeat what he said, because I don't want to repeat what he said. Anyways, if we shall, we got David Smith sent in a $20 super chat donation in through PayPal. He says, hey, John, I love the way you talk. I hope it does not get as bad as the YouTubers predict. Thank you, Dave. I tell you what, once again, you use the word prediction, right? Mr. T says, dude, you're like the prophet of prepping, right? And I'm like, in a secular manner, I am, but only because I've been working on this and watching it for so long. Folks, I was a prepper before Alex Jones was a name. I don't know when Alex Jones started prepping or thinking about New World Order, United Nations, any of this stuff, right? I didn't become a hardcore prepper until the Clintons took office. And that actually, it was even before they took office. It was after the Clintons won the election. I was like, that's it, fuck it. I need to buy some ammo. And that's when I started buying ammo and shooting the ammo and then reloading the ammo and then shooting the ammo. Anyways, I hope it doesn't get as bad either. But I'm not taking that chance, because every time I turn around, either the local, the state, or the federal government are fucking things up worse. But I appreciate the donation, Dave. I do, because what it does is it makes sure that the lights stay on here in the Hunker in the Bunker Commando Center, and that we have plenty of spam lined up. I have a pretty good spam collection. I've got regular spam, bacon spam, turkey spam, spam eggs, spam ham, and spam. All right, we've got $5 super chat donation from Crazy Uncle. He says, John, have you heard about service members getting GOMARs for not taking the Jim Jones juice? Soon it will be they have to take 2 shafts to stay in. Well, you got 2 topics you're kind of covering here. Number one, have I heard about our military members getting in trouble? Non-judicial punishment, thrown in the brig, NJP is non-judicial punishment, folks. It means getting in trouble without getting a courts martial. They're threatening to discharge them and give them dishonorable discharges even. That's what Joe Biden, they're pushing them, folks. They're pushing it. Yeah, it's already happening. It's already happening. That Lieutenant Colonel Scheller, USMC, combat veteran, Marine Corps, battalion level, Lieutenant Colonel in the brig right now, in jail, because he dared to question the brilliance of Gigi Biden and General Milley and the Joint Chiefs and the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, for their horrendous, fucked up decision that is so bad, folks, that military men from the commissioned and the non-commissioned ranks have said, dude, resign. And just as a reminder, folks, months ago, like I think 124 retired United States generals warned that our country is moving into civil war. Just like the French commissioned officers, as well as their non-commissioned officers and other enlisted personnel in France, active duty, not retired, told their president, Emmanuel Macron, dude, we're going to have a civil war. That's a paraphrase. That's what's coming. Now, the second part of this question from Crazy Uncle was, soon it will be they have to take 2 sips of the Jim Jones juice. Yum, yum. Love that Kool-Aid. You know, little X's over the eyes comes next. Yeah, they're already doing this, going, well, you've gotten all the jib jabs you need, but now you need a booster Kool-Aid, right? They want you to take boosters. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. And it's not going to end. It's not done. It's not done. Okay, I got a super chat donation through PayPal. Uman and Jolene, see if you can look this up. It says, hey, John, love your work. I think I am blocked in the chat. Can you fix it? If they can fix it, they'll fix it. Benjamin, number one, thank you for the awesome donation. Keeps the lights on and the fan whirling so I get fresh air down here through our filtration system. Sometimes YouTube will block you, and we have no idea why, what, where, how, or anything to fix it. So if it's on our end, we'll see if we can get in there and fix it. Thank you for the great donation. But folks, they're censoring everybody. Everybody they can over everything they can. I am busy, folks, ducking and weaving, dodging, slipping between the raindrops to keep this channel alive. To keep this channel alive. Because this is my voice, my beacon, right? Where I can just shout out to everybody and then you guys can shout back. It's not an echo chamber the way the mainstream media is, where they put out talking points and then people all over the country from the communist persuasion repeat the stupidity. Well, if you don't get it, then we're all going to get sick. What do you mean? Well, why did I take it if I can still get sick? It's your fault. Yeah, right. Those idiots. Here, we talk to each other. We share ideas, we question each other, and then decide whether those ideas work for us, right? It's a big difference between passing on talking points and actually thinking. Big fucking difference. Anyway, Benjamin Pam, I hope we get you turned back on. Hopefully it's not YouTube screwing you over, but there's an awful lot of that going down. We got a $17.76. That's $17.76 from Francesca. Thank you, Francesca. A great sponsor of the program. Gives us Acts 5:29. Says, hi, John. We read that Bagram is active again. Yeah. With Chinese planes. Who called that? We on this channel sure did Semper Fi. Folks, that is correct. It appears that Bagram Air Force Base, which was a United States and allies military installation in Afghanistan, the big air base. It was so big that I was told by an active duty Marine, he goes, it's so big, was so secure, so well protected, that enlisted men, not in the Marine Corps, folks, in the other branches of service, would salute officers. Now, here's the deal with saluting an officer. On American air bases, American ground bases, forts, you know, you salute when you see an officer, right? They return your salute, and then, right, everyone's done their thing, right? So it's a respect thing. It's got its place in history. But when you're not in the United States of America, and certainly when you're in a fucking war zone where people are getting shot, bombed, shelled, missiles, etc., you don't salute an officer. You just don't. You can say, hello, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Sometimes if you know they're an asshole, you're like, kiss my ass, but you don't say it. Anyways, joking aside, you don't salute because the enemy could be watching, see, oh, that's an officer. Someone just saluted them. And then sniper goes in and takes out the officers. Whew. It's a crazy world, I know it, but that's how rock solid Bagram was. That a lot of the enlisted felt safe in saluting officers, and officers felt safe in allowing it, I guess. But Marines are particularly careful about that. You do not salute an officer in the field. Okay, but here's the deal. Now, well, it was an American air base. It's not, and here's the deal. It is no longer Bagram Air Base. because the United States gave it up. It has Chinese planes, Chinese personnel there, I'm sure. You don't land a Chinese plane at an airbase without having a Chinese service and maintenance and fueling crew. What, do you think they're going to trust the fucking Taliban to go out there, spray fucking jet fuel all over themselves and their beards, and then light off a fucking cigar like Fidel Castro and a couple of puffs, and they go up like a Stay Puft Marshmallow with the Richard Pryor sauce on them? Not good. Not good at all. Yeah, so here's the deal, right? It's no longer Bagram Air Base. We gave the United States, not me and you, not we, but us, the U.S., the United States government, not the 50 states, not the people, the U.S. government, Washington, D.C., gave $85 billion in equipment to the Afghans. And we gave up Bagram Air Base and everything else in the country. So there's a fully operational base that's been used for nearly 20 fucking years. It's set up with all of the base infrastructure necessary to maintain and support a military and a war effort in the area. Do you think that China won't use that to their advantage? Fucks, they're already using it to their own advantage. Thank you, Joe Biden, for spending all of that money to build an airbase so we can give it away. What a bunch of pieces of dumbass shit. Or did the big guy get his 10%? What is 10% of 85 billion? Makes me wonder. We're at the 1 hour mark, by the way, folks, and we're at 1,200 people live on The Prepared Mind right now. Folks, Joe Biden, for a 5-minute speech on his YouTube channel, is lucky to get 500. And most of those are there to show up just to hit the thumb down and then turn it off. No one wants to hear that guy, but people want to come here. And they do. You betcha. So we got $9.99. Vicky's Suburban Living checks in. Says, been prepping in Northwest Indiana for 2 years. Thank you for the insight. We will never drink the Kool-Aid. Good. Folks, this Kool-Aid thing, there is an incredible, intense amount of pressure. An incredible, intense amount of pressure professionally on people. You take and you drink that Kool-Aid or you lose your job. Love that Kool-Aid. It's so good for me. XX, right? And for those of you who just aren't aware, a little too young or haven't been here yet, Jim Jones was a cult leader in the 70s who had all of his followers follow him to South America, to French Guiana. It's a little country down there. French Guiana on like the northeast coast of South America. They all went out in the jungle to their little cult compound. They were given poison Kool-Aid and they all died. Jim Jones, all the people and his staff who are armed with guns, ready to shoot the people who refused to take the Kool-Aid. They all took the Kool-Aid. Every fucking last one of them that drank the Kool-Aid died. That's the Jim Jones juice I speak of. That's where drinking the Kool-Aid comes from, right? Poison. So if we could, Jolene, can we go backwards and put that question back up? And I do want to thank you, Jolene and Uman and everyone else who are making this possible. There's a team right now, folks, behind the scenes. They could be on the other side of the wall in the bunker. They could be across the country. But technology, incredible, amazing. So people that say, I got it in my head now, Jolene, no worries. People say, I won't drink the Kool-Aid. They're being pushed there professionally. You'll lose your job. Your kids can't go to school. Your kids are being made fun of by their other friends. You're being socially attacked. Socially attacked in your social world. Shopping, in church, at the parent-teacher school, all the school functions. It's incredible, the social pressure to get people to do something they don't want. Now, the part that really pisses me off is this is a medical decision. It should be very personal. You shouldn't have to explain it to anyone. You shouldn't have to prove shit to anyone. In fact, there are laws in the United States of America that says you can't ask about someone's medical status, medical procedures, nothing. It's none of your fucking business. And if a school requires a child, right, They can get a waiver and say, go fuck yourself. They can't make anyone do shit, but they're trying. They're trying to convince people. Now, if someone's taken the Kool-Aid, the Jim Jones juice, if they've gotten the fucking tequila shot, hey, that's your business. I'm not going to make fun of you. Everyone makes their own decisions. But it is incredible, folks, how many people there are out there who are being forced to take it. And I've made a choice to live with the courage of my convictions and say, fuck you. Fuck you and no. If they're so dead set on making me drink the fucking Kool-Aid, there's got to be an important reason why, because I ain't seeing it. I'm not seeing it in the hospitals. I'm not seeing it on the streets. I'm not seeing it in the statistics. So there's another reason they're not telling me. And if they want me to take it that bad that they're willing to call me a criminal, then I'm going to look at them and say, you motherfuckers, you're the criminals. Knowing or unknowing, duped or not, willing or just fucking stupid. You're trying to make me take something. You're an evil bastard. Just like Nazis. Well, I didn't know they were going to kill all the Jews they put in the concentration camps. I just delivered the 1 millionth person there today, and I have wondered where they were all fitting. Yeah. Unbelievable. Okay, we got $5 super chat from Bernard Shreve Jr. And he says this. He says, got some info. YouTube plans to scrap the app from millions of phones for, safety, terms of service. Well, Bernard, I don't know what you speak of. I know that they're threatening everybody to take them off if they're offensive, and it would be terms of service, right? The mainstream media, big tech, social media, big social media, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. They're doing their absolute best. This is why I want you at Patreon for $2 a month. You can do more. Some people do. And thank you for those of you, all of you who are coming over. We're getting a much bigger, more powerful crowd at Patreon so that if YouTube scrubs us, and we have 4 channels, folks, 4 Prepared Mind channels. We got the initial, the backup, the backup to the backup, and the backup to the backup. We got 4 channels. So if they dust one, you can get on the others. But the point is go to those and subscribe, all of them. And then go to them after you subscribe and hit the notification bell. The reason is if I disappear on YouTube, you'll know where to go. If you're on Patreon, though, if you're a $2 a month, folks, 7 cents a day, if you're on Patreon, I never disappear. I'm always there. You can always get and you don't just get the videos live. You don't just get the videos before everyone else on the planet. You get all of the links, all of the news stories, all of the videos, all of the stuff that is censored. And that's the point behind taking us and trying to get everyone and kill YouTube if you talk about stuff that's too sensitive. Their objective is to silence us, to stop us from talking with one another. Patreon allows us to talk with one another. And on top of that, folks, we have a backup plan to that. At thepreparedmind.club, we can convert that into a media platform. The same way Alex Jones got kicked off YouTube and he's got his private platform now. They tried taking him out of the banking system, which they did, and he's managed to stay alive. Folks, we can do the same thing, and we're prepared to do it if it occurs. But we really are just a small crowd. This fucking network is huge, folks. But as far as YouTube is concerned, it's pretty small. I tell you. Anyways, the Prepared Mind Club is our backup to the backup, but it is also a store, right? Where to go. So this bumper was put together by Mr. T to kind of talk about it. That's a great little club bumper. Anyways, the point is that is also going to be our backup for media, broadcast, information, emergency alerts, as well as giving you a place to go get the things you need. Now, again, we're calling back, way back to the first question by Darcy, which is, what the hell's going on with these shipping containers? Folks, on those ships off the coast of Los Angeles and other ports in the United States are ships loaded with prepper supplies. It's getting harder to get them. Make sure you've got the basics, the ability to purify water. Make sure you've got the basics for food, the basics for self-defense, the basics for your medicinal needs, whether it's first aid kits or your prescription needs. Get them taken care of ahead of time. It's just so much easier than, you know, when shit's going down. I don't want to stand in line for aspirin when there's fucking bullets whizzing over my head. Not the time to go buy aspirin. All right, we got $5 super chat with Opie Waddell. He says, might not make it to the rapture. Pow zoom to the moon. My wife is ride or dry. Muck Zark, which is fuck Zark, Mark Zuckerberg. He says, strawberries make you extreme. That's some coded stuff in there. Thank you very much, Opie, who always has words of wisdom and silly stuff for us all. Wow, folks. Shit has hit the fan. Are you prepared? And a question I've been asking is, aren't you glad you're a prepper? We've got a lot of new people in here, folks. If you're new, don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. You can ask questions in the comments and people will help you out. They'll direct you as best they can to where to find the right answer. I know that YouTube has some restrictions on putting links in there, and I get it. And I don't want people, right, promoting their ideas that are kind of off the charts. But it is a great forum, the comment section during the zoo, for talking, introducing yourself, and figuring out what you need to get done. We got Dude Seriously with a $10 super chat. He says, God bless America. I know this might seem harsh, but if we don't build our own guillotines and use them, they will be used on us. Dude, seriously. The guillotine was a decapitation device, a mechanical decapitation device, which used the power of gravity to downward propel a very sharp metal object across the neckline of aristocrats and elitists and politician assholes. It was invented back in France, and they employed it for the French Revolution. The reason they did that, I want to get into this. I think it's important. Very briefly, and then we'll get to our good buddy Steve Conlon. The reason they did the guillotine was everyone in France who was not an elitist snob piece of shit like our 1% of the 1% that own 90% plus, right? They had the same thing in France in the 1700s, the late 1700s, the same 1700s that we had the American Revolution in. In France, they didn't have the internet. They didn't have broadcast television. So if you wanted to see that justice was being done, you had to get your ass into Paris and go watch the spectacle of the Marquis de Boutefoucarie being marched across the guillotine, stood up in front of the crowd, having his sentence and his crimes read to the people, and then putting him in the guillotine, whoosh, off with his head. That was so the whole country could see that justice was being done. Today, we don't need guillotines in large city center squares. We have the internet. We have cell phone technology. People can capture the images of very quick, very humane, post courts martial / something that in DC they're not giving the people. All of those people being held in the January 6th Bastille, they're not getting due process. They're not getting due process, folks. They're not getting a quick and speedy trial by their peers. They're getting offered plea bargains to admit guilt for things like trespassing and parading on federal property without a permit. because they want to say, yep, 80% of the people who were arrested have been convicted of a crime. They're just pleading to get out of there after 8 fucking months, right? That's the best deal. Anyways, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible, folks. The technology we have, and we can give the scumbags in this country all the due process they got coming. Right? That's what we got. We got due process for them, something they're not willing and wanting to give us. All right, we got Steve Conlon with a 20-pound super chat donation. He's from jolly old England, our friend Steve. And he says, hello, John. I can't contribute to your discussion. I feel like giving up. I'm 69 years of age, and I can't cope with this daily shower of shit that is coming at me. Your channel keeps me sane. Love from jolly old England. Stephen Conlon, do not give up, brother. This is what they want. They want to wear us down. All of us. They want to grind us down. They want to beat us until we submit. It's called attrition. They are beating us, folks, not with bullets and bombs. They're beating us with media pressure, social pressure, professional pressure. They're beating us, as in pounding on us, right? With all manner of pressure. It is psychological warfare. The feelings you're having right now, Stephen, and everyone else, including me, the feelings you have, the sensations of anguish, anger, pain, frustration, is to wear you down so that you submit, you bend the knee to the Kool-Aid, or you bend the knee to surrendering your rights. And they just say, if you just obey us, if you just obey the tyrants, we will let you get back to life. Things will be normal again if you just obey us. If you just go get your Kool-Aid and take a big old sip, just do as you're told, and we'll let you go. We'll take our foot off of your neck. Folks, tyrants lie. Tyrants will fuck you over every time. There is no relief. There is no relief. And I understand, man, that you're 69 years old, right? You've been around the fucking block. You get it, right? You've paid your fucking dues your whole life. And you get to the end, right? The part where you're supposed to be retired and fucking enjoying life, hitting the fucking links, right? Out there water skiing, whatever your thing is, right? Hunting, shooting, fishing, relaxing, reading a book, writing a book, whatever it is that you've got in your head to do, they've taken away your retirement and instead giving you this crock of shit called cerveza madness. But here's the deal. There's no way, you can't ignore it, right? You could, if this idea of, well, you know what, I don't need to prep. If I just ignore everything will be fine, right? The whole see no evil, hear no evil. If I don't see and hear, but everywhere you go, that's all you fucking see in many parts of the world, especially the UK, is a bunch of in-your-face mask bullshit, a bunch of in-your-face rainbow Heather's got two mommies bullshit. In your face immigration crap. In your face fucking taxation. In your face supreme power of the government. So you can't get away. You can't blind yourself to it anymore. So even if you obey them and get the Jim Jones juice, you're not going to get relief. Well, we need 70% of people to get it. Oh, no, now we need 80. Now we need 85, 95%, 97, 98%, and then we can get back to normal. It's all hogwash. It's bullshit. They're blowing smoke up your ass. They're pissing down your back and tell you it's raining. They're liars. There is no way to placate, to satisfy a tyrant or a tyrant's administration or fucking bureaucrats. There's no way. So what I'm saying, Steve, is your best bet, amigo, your best bet, my friend, my brother, is to tighten the fucking link on your belt. Realize that your back is against the wall, that you're a man, And it's fucking time, right, to take this all to the next level. And I'm not talking about anything violent, dangerous, not glamorizing anything, but understand the time for action is coming, my friend. The time for action is coming. Yeah, they're trying to kill the meat supply. They're trying to tell you you've got to eat bugs. They're trying to tell you you've got to put up with all this anti-freedom bullshit they've got. That your rights, your common law rights, God-given rights don't matter. The time is coming, and soon, to fight back. And there will be a response, folks. I think like the world has never heard or seen. The way the shot, right, heard around the world in America, right, with its Lexington and then Concord, those two first skirmishes between King George's men and American colonists who had had enough horseshit. That was the shot heard around the world. Now get this, and folks, understand, and this is not a small deal. At the time of the American Revolution, the British Empire, from that little island, the sun never set. It was the world superpower, folks. It owned China, Hong Kong. It owned India, right? Which now has about 1/3 of the world's population, total population in those two countries, China and India. England basically owned them. They owned a bunch of Africa. They owned a bunch of, North America, right? The United States is what we are now, but they also had Canada. Oh, Canada. England, the sun never set on that world empire, that one world empire. Here we are today with the New World Order, Great Reset, Davos, assholes thinking they're going to get one world again, where the empire is run not by the queen or the king, but by a bunch of elitist fucks who think they know better and that they should own and control everything, and that we can live as feudal serfs in their neo-feudal system. The time is coming where it's going to be resisted, and there is going to be a shout so loud that it will not escape any ears. Literally, it'll be heard around the world, folks, when people say enough is enough, and it'll be the shot and the shout heard. I really believe it's going to happen. It's going to be one hell of a day. Eric S. checks in with a $5 super chat donation. And he says, thank you for all you do, John. You betcha. It's my pleasure. This is what I do. You know, if I wasn't here right now doing Sunday Night Live, I would still be reading this information. I would still be checking out the news. I would still be conversing with friends. But because you guys support the channel, the network, because you participate in it, which is also needed, right? Not everyone speaks up, not everyone writes questions, but you're there supporting it. But those of you who do want to get involved, I think you found a very good way to do so. All right, we got Johnny Freedom Seed checking in with a $20 super chat donation. He says, hey, John, just checking in. Some messed up times we are in. Glad we all have the zoo to keep us going. And as always, Semper Fi, brother, Semper Fi. Semper Fi is Latin, Semper Fidelis. It's Latin for always faithful. It is the Marine Corps motto, but it's for everybody. I ran into an Army vet the other day who thought she would tease me and ask me what my favorite color of crayon was to eat. And I told her blue. And then I made some jokes. Anyways, Semper Fi is for everyone, not just Marines. And we talk about having the courage of our convictions. When this fight becomes more real, or I should say, as this fight becomes more real, as it becomes more real, your faith, your belief system, and what you know to be right is going to become sharper, crystal clear to you. I said, I know people who are being victimized by government right now. I know people who are being victimized by the medical community, by the legal community, at the local level, the state level, as well as the federal level. We're reading the articles, like the retired Green Beret soldier who is now in jail because he refused to help the FBI screw people over. And then he released information on them, the FBI, for trying to recruit him to be an agent provocateur, a spy, a scumbag, in other words. Folks, if you're doing dirty deeds for the FBI, you're scum. Right? If you're being one of their little inside intel guys that goes in and recommends all manner of fuckery, yeah, you're scum. You know who you are. It doesn't mean you can't quit and change your fucking ways and become an American, a patriot, but odds are they like the money they get from the FBI, and so they take it, and then they screw people over. Anyways, this guy, right, he's getting screwed over. He's in jail for doing nothing wrong, for being outside the Capitol on January 6th. A former Green Beret, a retired Army soldier, and also a Republican congressional candidate is now behind bars because the FBI didn't like the fact, right, that he told everyone what they were up to and how they do it. And the only reason he did that was because Christopher Wray lied to the American people repeatedly again and again. He's tired of it. We're all tired of their bullshit, folks. That sound, that clarion call to action is coming. Be prepared. We got Mama Bear checking in with a $5 super chat donation. It says the American government has forgotten that they work for the people, not the people working for them. Stop filing taxes and hit them where it hurts. Now, here's the deal, Mama Bear. I like the sound of that, but I'm not going to recommend it. One, because I would be recommending that people do things that are unlawful or illegal. And two, mostly illegal. But two, they've already done it to themselves. They have killed how many hundreds of thousands of businesses in America? Small businesses, small business, mom and pop, as well as franchisees. That is, there's people out there like me and you that I guess they get $1 million somehow. They buy a franchise for, like, I don't know, KFC, Burger King, Taco Bell, whatever fast food restaurants offer franchise opportunities. Those restaurants, folks, are going out of business. Small stores going out of business. People not going back to work. So the IRS, that is the federal government, in Washington, D.C., that little pile of shit, pile of dirt there, used to be a place of reverence for patriots, you know, those patriarchal patriots. No longer. Now it is the hot seat of scum and villainy. Well, sounds like a line from Star Wars. Let's move on, though. They've already hurt their taxes there, Mama Bear. They've hurt their corporate taxes. They've hurt personal income taxes, which weren't properly ratified in the 16th Amendment. But they're not getting the money they used to get, the federal government. So how are they staying in business, if we want to use that word, because it is a corporation, the United States corporation, based in Washington, D.C.? How are they staying open? How are they keeping the lights on? How are they funding all of their projects, all of their federal mandates? Well, they have the power, one power that you and I don't have, and that is the printing press. See, they bring in, let's just say, $1 trillion, but they need $3 trillion, right, with the new budget. So they just magically make those dollars appear. Some keystrokes, print some more money off, no problem. See, they don't need the tax money when they're operating outside the constitutional restrictions or limitations. They don't need it. They'll just print up what they need until they break the country, which is what they're trying to do. They need the country broken, folks. They need to make chaos out of the United States of America. They want chaos, folks, because when you have chaos, then you can do what the New World Order wants. Then you can make, right, order out of chaos. Order out of chaos. Ordo ab chaos. They want to do that. That is the New World Order goal. But you can't make order out of chaos until you take our order and make chaos out of it. Okay, let's move on if we shall. We got Shelly Chavers with a $5 super chat donation. Says this: thanks for all of you and your team do. Recently moved to rural Northeast Texas from Harris County, which is in the Houston area. Any suggestions with rural internet? Well, I tell you what, I have been about as rural as you're going to get when I was at the RMZ. And folks, that was a hell of an adventure. Proved a number of things to myself and probably many others. And, had a couple of talks with the Almighty and fought with the rooster. Anyways, that was quite a while ago, almost 1 year. 1 year ago at this time, I was still in the RMZ, but I came back here, folks, to get into it. I wanted to be hip deep, waist deep, neck deep in the shit with you guys. So I had some internet issues off and on over the years. The best thing I can recommend is you don't have any choice. You need to do your local research and find out. You could find out that the best thing you can do is have not Wi-Fi, but a MiFi or internet connection through cell towers. That is, a cell tower talks to your MiFi unit router, and then that's your hotspot for your phone. And that may be faster than any landline you have. And I know people who are in rural areas that have satellite dish, not satellite, but rather a dish that bounces off of other dishes and goes over to main distribution networks that bounce the signal out directly. That's not really reliable, I've heard, but I've heard that when it does work, it works well. It's very tricky. Do your very best. I don't think you'll be stuck with dial-up speeds, but there's a number of options these days. You can do satellite straight up. You can do dishes. You can do landlines, fiber optics. You might get paired through copper. You just never know. And then, of course, there is the cell tower style, which is what I used at the RMZ. Luckily, and I mean luckily, right, I was able to get such a clear, crisp signal from a location couldn't be more remote on the planet. The RMZ couldn't be more fucking remote. And I was able to do live broadcasts with you guys and take questions. It was incredible. I was fucking shocked. I'm like, holy shit, you couldn't get further away from any other civilization. Enough said. Chester Wolf, the Griffin, checks in with a $5 super chat donation. Folks, we're up at 1,250 people live right now. Holy shit. All right. Chester Wolf says, my back is against the wall in this democratic cesspool of Philadelphia. Most people at my job or drinking the Jim Jones juice. I'm holding firm. Hell no. This is incredible, folks, that you are holding out against the Jim Jones juice. But I want you to know this. It's not over with yet. They're not going to give up. They're not fucking quitting. That little bastard, that short little bastard who's a doctor, had this to say, right? I want to make sure I read this quote correct. Are you ready for this one? I can't stand this little fuckwad. Anyways, he says this. It's too soon to tell. He was asked, the short little know-it-all expert that we all must obey. Who elected him? Who gives a fuck what he says? Has he been right about anything? Actually, no. He was asked if Americans can gather for Christmas. It's not his decision to make, folks. Why even ask him? It's not his decision to make. Why obey him? Why obey any government that listens to him? He's not an expert in my world. He's not my personal expert. I don't care what he fucking says. But he says this. It's too soon to tell. Chester, he's not going to change his mind. Dr. Fauci, is not going away. Biden is not going away. Obama is not going away. It's going to get worse. That is why so many people are leaving areas like Philadelphia. They're leaving areas where it is overrun with blue idiots, and they're moving to free counties in blue states, or they're moving out of blue states altogether down south. What I can tell you, folks, is in an article today that came up, the state of Florida, and I've seen evidence similar in many other states, including Texas, many other states, that the number of people registering as Republicans is going through the fucking roof, because the people that are moving in are registering to vote and they're Republicans. They're leaving the blue areas. Now, it's amazing when I hear that a fucking liberal is transplanting. It's like, Well, that's your fucking state, Illinois. You voted for that shit, you Democrat pile of crap. What the fuck are you doing in another state? Get the hell out of Mississippi and go back to where you came from, where you trashed that fucking state. Go enjoy the shit sandwich that you made and stop giving it to other people to eat because you're so damn smart. Now, Big Country checks in with a $5 super chat donation. And folks, we're past the 90-minute mark. We're heading to 2 hours. And here's the deal. Sunday Night Live is typically a 2-hour show. But, oh, Prost. But if you've got questions, I will stay on live and talk to you, answer. That's been my commitment to you guys, is if you've got questions, if there's a super chat donation in, I'm staying on. Our world record right now is, I think, 3.5 hours. I think that's our tops. And that was a lot. That kicked my ass. Right now we're at an hour and a half plus, a little bit plus, but I just wanted to let you know, right? It's a 2-hour plus show. There's no requirement to stay. You're allowed to leave if you want. And we're closing in on 1,300 people live on Sunday Night Live. Shit, Saturday Night Live. Holy cow. That reminds me. Folks, when Cerveza Bug first hit back in, what was it, March, when I said, that's it, shit's hit the fan. I lit the fucking cigar and I burned that son of a bitch to the ground. And said, that's it. We did Saturday Night Live. Every day I did 2, I think, live broadcasts that were like 90 minutes a piece every fucking day because it was crazy, right? And we went to Sunday Night Live. Whew. And here we are still putting up with all this shit and getting prepared. And knowing, folks, that the political left, that is the elected, the bureaucratic, the law enforcement left, not the law enforcement Americans, separate group, folks. Sheriffs are constitutional peace officers. Now, there are great peace officers or policemen in the cities, but they are far outnumbered by the scumbags. Understand that. They're not all bad. Understand that the mentality of the left is to kick out good people, the same way they're doing in our military now. Anyways, our country's in dire trouble. It's going to get violent. The people on the left are the ones pushing for it. If you think that the police in Australia that are pushing down old women, breaking their hips, spraying them in the face with chemicals, if you think the police officers in Australia who are arresting women for coming out in public and not wearing a mask, if you think those police officers are law-abiding conservative men, you're wrong. Or women, you're wrong. The people that are willing to take and commit these horrible acts of constitutional and God-given right violation, they're Democrats, folks. They're Democrats. They're socialists and they're communists at heart. Those are the ones who are willing to wear the uniform and break the law the same way the fucking Nazis did in World War II and pre-World War II. They were willing for a paycheck to fuck everyone else over, thinking that they were going to be in on the we run this country now. We own this country now. This is our country. That's what the Democrat thinking is. They will bring the violence and visit it upon the people. And then there's going to be a shot that is going to be heard around the world. Anyways, geez, thank you, Dr. Fauci. Let's move on, though. We got Big Country says, John, being they started firing employees, how long in your estimated guess we got before they tried door knocks with CPS or worse for punishment? I believe I have a quote from Dr. Fauci that there won't be a requirement ever for Kool-Aid. I guess he changed his mind, huh? They always seem to change their mind. It's funny how they can change their mind when it suits them. They have no problem, folks, changing their mind. Right now they're saying, oh, no, it's not really mandatory. It's just if you want to keep your job. Getting the Jim Jones juice jab is mandatory. That's it, folks. Now, how far will they go? My prediction has been, and remember, I'm the prophet of prepping, but I've been wrong a lot. That doesn't mean I won't give you fair warning and say, if you put the pressure on, you guys, me too, but you guys, If we put pressure on them and say, no fucking way, don't do it, or you will face the consequences the same way. Let's see. The United States Postal Service says, we work for the federal government, so we're under federal jurisdiction. So the president can tell us what to do, but if you make a mandate on the U.S. Postal Service, we'll all fucking walk. We'll quit. So President Gigi Biden says, oh, everyone has to take the Jim Jones juice except the postal workers. Oh, and the judicial department and the legislature and all of their people, their little staffers. But everyone else, you have to, right? We stand up and say no loud enough, they're going to have a hard time. But my prognostication, my prediction is that the United States is key to the Davos, Great Reset, New World Order, Bilderberg, Illuminati, scumbag takeover of the planet. They need to destroy America. They need to destroy our rights, our Constitution, our laws, our institutions, our traditions, our culture, the American dream, and the rest of the world's vision of what they see in America. Right now, America is falling. And we're all noticing it. People are waking up going, hey, hey, hey. It's not the America I grew up with. This is not the America I was told about in the movies and in books. No, this is America quite different. It's not America anymore. Yeah, we're on the land, but their idea is they must destroy the United States. So they're testing different models. The Australian model, which is, we're going to go door to door and get you. The Canadian model, which is, hey, just take it, eh? Everything will be fine. The American model is, we'll fire you if you don't take it. As suggested here on the Prepared Mind channel, states like, I don't know, states like Texas, Missouri, South Dakota, states like South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, will those states say, this is a sanctuary state from the unlawful, unconstitutional, federal mandates, and that corporations can come here and you don't have to abide by federal rules, and people can move here and live free and breathe and make choices for themselves? You know, freedom. Unfucking believable. And if states do that, folks, those states will come together and create an environment. And it's already happening, by the way. It's just the states haven't proclaimed these things, but people are coming to the South. They're going and leaving blue cities and going out into the red counties up north, saying, we're not playing your game, we're not abiding. It is coming, folks. They're going to continue to push in America until they are defeated. And in America, we have an awful lot of guns, an awful lot of rednecks, hillbillies, swamp billies, mountain jacks, whatever you want to call those people, rednecks, that are all American. And this has nothing to do with color, folks. This is not white supremacy. This is not KKK. This is not any of that. It is real Americans, right? Who say, no fucking way. You're not making my decisions for me. Met a bunch of them this weekend when I went out in the bayou. Right? They're everywhere, folks, of all different creeds and colors, but they're American, deep down. $5 Crazy Uncle. How is the JJJ not a sharp complaint? Either take this shaft into your body and accept a foreign substance, or you're fired. Think about it. Oh, I agree. I absolutely agree. Sharp, meaning if you go to restaurants or you go out in public at work, there's sharps containers. I think this is what he's referring to. And you put the needle, right, for people who take insulin, other injectable medications. Once they're done, they can dispose of it in a sharps container. You're not allowed to be poked with. It's illegal, right? It's unlawful to dispose of these things so that other people, against their will, their consent, their better thinking, get jabbed with a sharp. It's so much more than that, though. See, they don't. OSHA, to answer your question, OSHA has a requirement that we get the proper amount of oxygen, that we're allowed to breathe at work and get the proper amount of oxygen. Otherwise, you start going into brain asphyxiation. You become tired. You can become weak you could become. Your brain doesn't get enough oxygen, so you can't think as well. It's a dangerous situation to muffle you. Yet they said it's a mandate to wear a mask. Never mind that the evidence, the scientific evidence, the indisputable scientific, reproducible, measurable scientific evidence was that masks restrict breathing and lower the oxygen intake below that of what OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA standards were you can't restrict someone's breathing so their oxygen level drops below a certain point. Well, here's the legal level. Here's the normal legal. Well, the mask brought it down below that. Yet OSHA said that's fine. Where the fuck was OSHA? In other words, their rules don't matter. What matters is their fucking agenda. That's what matters, folks. And they're coming after all of us, and they ain't going to quit. So if you're in a free area, you better stand up for yourself in your area, in whatever state you're in, and tell your representatives in the government, do your fucking job. You swore an oath, you made a promise, and you're getting paid. Now do your fucking work. Protect us, the people, from tyranny. The thing that made America come about was tyranny. That's right, folks. Without King George being an asshole, we might still be a British colony. But tyrants being what they are, complete and total assholes, created the situation whereby people said, you know what, fuck you, we've had enough of your shit. Declaration of Independence, go smoke that bastard. And there you go. I wonder if King George still has saved his copy of the Declaration of Independence. I wonder if he saved his copy or if he just threw it on the ground, pissed on it, wiped his ass with it. Who knows? Who knows? What I do know, though, is it takes a tyrant to make people free. We've got tyrants now, folks. We got that covered. We got part one. America was slowly declining, but declining nonetheless, into an environment, a political environment, social environment that was not very free. But they hit a fucking cliff and we're going straight down, folks, away from freedom and into tyranny. So one of the components that is needed to satisfy an American or any people's desire for freedom is to have that tyrannical element in government. When you have the tyrannical element, then and only then can the people wake up. Now, I'm ahead of the game. You're ahead of the game. We saw the tyranny from a long way away and said, we don't like where this is heading. This can go to tyranny. Well, guess what? We're there now. We are there now. All right. We got a $5 super chat donation from FJP13. Biden's 666 comment. He says, your feelings, 6 hours, 6 days, 6 weeks will get it done. Oh, I think it's going to take a lot longer than that. 6 hours, 6 days, 6 weeks. I see the 666 thing in there, folks. I'm not blind nor stupid, but my feelings is it's going to be a lot longer than that. But yeah, 6 weeks, 6 days, and 6 hours from now, we've got a lot of bad stuff coming, folks. A lot of bad stuff coming. Let's get prepared, though. That's what we can do. That is a positive step. A lot of people feel like Steve. A lot of people are feeling beaten down. And Brother Steve, don't give up, man. Never, ever, ever give up. But feeling like you've been beaten down. Beaten down, beaten down, beaten down. And understand, Steve is over in England. We start at 6. He's watching us at like midnight, Sunday night. People around the world wake up to watch this show with you. Woo! Okay. They want us beaten down. They want to defeat us. Don't let them do it to you. You can do something positive, and prepping is a positive action and step to take in the right direction. Prep to action. Once you're prepared, then you can start taking action as well, because you know you're good, you're prepped. Now you can really start screaming and yelling at these politicians. Do your fucking jobs. You got elected. You took an oath. You're getting paid. Do your fucking jobs. We got Kathleen Sims checks in, says, became a YouTube member. Excellent. We do have another membership, folks. It's a great way to support the channel. That's to become a YouTube member. Wow. Thank you, folks. This channel is growing. We grew in the month of September, folks, over 10,000 subscribers. We're up over 80,000. I would love for us to get to 100,000 so that YouTube can send me a plaque. I think at 100,000 subscribers, they send you a plaque that says how awesome you are and how much YouTube appreciates you. I would love to teabag that plaque. No pictures, not going to show anyone. I'd love to wipe my backside on it and send them a picture of it. But yeah, all things said and done, folks, we grew 10,000 last month because you guys decided to share the videos, share the links, and tell people, get over here, start learning, get prepared, because shit's going down. Shit's going down bad, mister. Get prepared. We got the $20 from Boru. It says, quote, they will be eating eagle sandwiches in our face if we don't stop this situation. Oh, I agree. What he means by eagle sandwiches, folks, is America, right? America. America is the eagle. They're eating us, right? They're taking a bite out of us. They're carving us up the way you would carve up a turkey. They're carving up America, folks, and they're dining on it. The bad guys, them. And that's more than just the government. It's the aristocrats. It's the corporate owners, our new aristocrats, who never went away after the revolutions, after democracy, after constitutional republics were established. They just went in the background and worked through corporations to buy their way back into control of the government, to buy the bureaucracy, to buy as much as they could in the way of technological advancements, corporations, manufacturing, industry, food. So they own it all again. And now they want to take it away from us and say, no food for you, no soup for you. Right? They want to play soup Nazis. You have to give us your house and then we'll give you a bowl of soup. But that's not a fair trade. Too bad, no soup for you. Right? That's exactly what they're doing. One paycheck. Right? They'll take your house. Do what they say now, or you won't get that one paycheck and they take your fucking house and no soup for you. Boro's back, says Schaefer Cox is a political prisoner. This is another $20 super chat donation. Cox is a political prisoner under the Supermax in Terre Haute, Indiana. For over 10 years, congressional candidate from Alaska. He is the leader we actually need. Schaefer Cox. Folks, we need not a leader. We need to be awake as a country. And I'm not shitting on you, Boru. I'm just talking. Understand. We need the people awake. Imagine, folks, George Washington, that great American who became the commander, the leader of the Continental Army. That is the colonial army from the Revolutionary War. Imagine if he was on his horse and he had no army because no one was awake and no one realized what was going on. The leader doesn't make the revolution. The leader doesn't make freedom happen. Right? The people have to be awake, informed, aware, and active. And yes, we do need leaders. We really do. I'm not saying leaders aren't needed, but we need the people awake. And that is what you and I are doing, is waking up the people. Wake up, get prepared, take action. The leaders are out here, folks. They're waiting, they're waiting, they're waiting. George Washington was not the General Washington. George Washington wasn't the general of the Continental Army before Lexington and Concord. It was the people saying, that's the fucking last straw. And then they started shooting back at the English, who were shooting them, by the way. Don't kid yourself. I'm sorry, it wasn't the English. It was the king's men, the redcoats, who were getting a paycheck to act like tyrannical cocksuckers. That's right. So it wouldn't do George Washington any good to stand in a field of battle all by himself. So we need the people to wake up, and that's what we're doing first, right? We are the Minutemen. We are doing the ride of Paul Revere. We're waking people up. There's going to be a Lexington and Concord event, and then people are really going to say, I'm all for that, or they're going to hide. Trust me, most people will just hide. It's okay. That's their role and their job. What is your role and your job? It may be just to be a prepper. It may be to protect your family, or it may be something else. We're all going to find out, folks. See, that's what life is about, is exploring, right? Every experience, seeing what the world is doing, and then how you choose to take action, how you choose to think, decide, your morality. It's one hell of an interesting thing. All right, we got Bernard Shreve Jr. with a $5 super chat donation. He says, topic and info. The topic is communication planning for SHTF in your groups. The information is 2021 run on radios is in panic mode, like toilet paper now. Don't leave home without it, folks. If you got a prepper group, get your communication radio, whether it's shortwave ham, CB, whatever you need, folks. We do, of course, sell that kind of stuff right there on the Prepared Mind channel. I'm sorry, the preparedmind.club. That's not the channel. But you can get them anywhere. Get your group set up to communicate. It's hard. Your group may be spread out more than 20 miles. Right? You could end up having a rendezvous point, but having radios. I've got walkie-talkies for my group, right? For close range, right? I've got CB, I've got ham, I've got all that. I'm not the best comms guy. Hopefully your group does have good comms, or you get someone who can handle that, but definitely get communication gear, because Cuba taught us a nice little lesson. And I'm not talking about Cuba from the 1960s Castro days when there was a massive communist takeover there, and Che Guevara, who's being presented as some sort of Latin hero in Latin month, was actually a murderous fucking thug communist piece of shit. Was not a good guy, didn't help anybody other than himself. No, I'm talking about the communist government in Cuba today. As soon as the people started protesting and demanding freedom, and then they were denied entry into the United States because, you know, the United States doesn't need anti-communists. They want people who are going to depend on the government, like Mexicans and Haitians and Afghanis that weren't checked before they were allowed in our country. Anyways, in Cuba, they were scrambling and broadcasting over every signal and frequency they could in order to make communication difficult. Now, it's hard to maintain that. It's hard to establish that sort of fuck everyone network. So having the ability to communicate is key and essential, so do your very best. Now, we got 20 pounds from Stephen Conlin, our friend across the pond. He says, thanks, John. I will never take the Jim Jones juice. God bless you and all your followers. Hey, thank you, Steve, again, for all the support you've shown the channel, the support you show other listeners and other network members. What you said touched me, man, and I don't want you or anyone else to give up. That's what they want, is to beat us down into submission, to beat us into quitting, to beat us into believing that they'll let up on us. They, the bad guys, will never let up. Tyrants never quit. They can only be beaten and removed and made an example for all the people so that it doesn't happen again. And here we are in the United States of America, and it's happening again. Right now, we have tyrants here. All right, you got a $4.99 super chat from CFS. Says, just now found your channel. Rock on, bro. Hope springs eternal. Indeed. The more of us wake up, folks, like I said last month, September, channel took off. 10,000 new subscribers. We've been stalled for like 3 fucking years. Stalled because of shadow banning, because of censorship, because YouTube actually goes in, folks. We'll get 200 or 300 in a day. In a day. Pow, 200 or 300 new subscribers. Next day, it's down the exact same number because YouTube will remove people. And I get people going, who unsubscribed me? Folks, I can't unsubscribe you from YouTube, right? But the best thing to do is to get over to patreon.com and go to the Prepared Mind on Patreon And you get all kinds of goodies, well, including the Worldwide Weekly Wrap-Up, uncensored. And this week, oof, I was not a happy guy when I recorded that. Steve Bishop checks in with 30-06, $30.06. 30-06 is one mean mother-loving round. 30-06. It's kind of like a 308 that took a that took a Red Bull. Anyway, Steve Bishop says this: Semper Fi, John. How long you think before we see the Aussies, or pick your country, use IEDs against the police to combat this tyranny? Can you wattage this concept for us? Obviously, it's just a thought experiment. Of course, we would never suggest, promote anything dangerous, harmful. We would never encourage, incite, or glamorize acts of violence. Ooh, that's good Jim Jones juice there. Gotta love the Kool-Aid. Wattage equals war game. Thank you. Thank you, Jolene. I have to be very careful about this for a number of reasons. IEDs is improvised explosive devices. Our military, veterans as well as active duty, are familiar with these devices. A lot of our veterans and active duty have found them, captured them. They know how to create them. I myself have met a few vets who are very familiar with IEDs and how they work, how to make them of a variety of sorts. What's going to happen, though, is somewhere along the line, we're going to have our Lexington moment, our shot heard around the world moment. I can't say exactly when that's going to happen, but what I can say is the government response is going to be to claim that those are terrorists, that they're breaking Joe Biden's rules, that they're using violence, and violence is never acceptable. Well, except when the government does it, then it's just fucking fine, right? From dropping bombs to sending in missiles to using drones to kill people, that's fine. But if you, the people, decide to stand up for yourselves and protect yourselves against tyranny, that is never acceptable. You are limited to only your vote here because, you know, they know what's best for us. Anyways, the point is eventually that's not going to matter. People are already to the point where they're not real happy with what the government's doing. And again, I'm not telling, inciting, asking anybody or giving advice on this. I'm just saying expect this to happen. There's going to come a point where the people say, I've had enough of your shit. It's probably going to be retaliatory. That is, that they were attacked first. And the government's response will be, those people are domestic terrorists, they're domestic violence extremists, they're neo-Nazis, they're white supremacists, they're homophobes, xenophobes, Islamophobes, they're government phobes. Right? They're going to come up with all their bullshit. They're going to use the mainstream media. They're going to shut down the internet. They're going to do all kinds of shit. The more a tyrant loses control, the tighter they squeeze. It's a fact. If they feel they're losing control, they will squeeze tighter, which means that's more pain for everybody. The American people, people around the world will feel that pain of them squeezing. Right? The more they squeeze, the more people are going to resist. They're going to like, stop fucking choking me. Stop trying to squeeze the life out of me. That's what tyrants do, though. They want that control. They want that grip on everyone's neck so they can control us. So when that shot is heard around the world, when the shot's heard around the world, that's when the action starts. It'll be more than muskets. It'll be more than AR-14s, Joe Biden. It's going to be a lot more than that. There will be other forms, folks. Other forms of retaliatory response against the tyranny. That's the balloon going up, right? That's when the dime drops and people will understand this shit is really hit the fan. Is it going to be next month? Will it be next year? I don't know. But if we follow it day to day, week to week, and month to month, if we continue to follow it, take in the information, document what's going on, discuss it, we will be better prepared than everyone else. Just like right now, you've got food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. You've got a plan. You know what's going on. So you're set. If everything goes to shit, you're good. You're like, I'm good for 3 months. I'll fix this shit in a week or two. In the meantime, those people up there, they're having a hell of a time because they weren't prepared. They don't know what's going on. They're not following along. They're pretending that nothing is happening. They're lying to themselves. You're not doing that. You've done the right thing. $10 from Dude Seriously says, if America was at an all-out physical attack from foreign invaders, would going rogue and being guerrilla take us to the other side in 4 years or maybe more? If America was in an all-out physical attack from foreign invaders, would going rogue and being guerrilla take us to the other side in 4 years or maybe more? That would be the problem. If China and or Russia were to invade, or a bunch of South American countries were to invade, what would be the response of the Biden administration? That's number one in your hypothesis or your thesis. What would the American people do? We would go guerrilla, I think, right off the bat. Being Americans and being human beings, I think we would probably grow into larger groups. That's typically what happens. Is you go into, people of like-minded belief systems and that share agendas and goals will grow, and those groups will become bigger, and then they will only grow to the size that is allowed by the response from the enemy. If you can grow into a group of 100 and be undetected and carry out missions, then that's the size it'll be, right? If going to 100 is when you get all of the negative attention you don't want from an adversary, then you make sure that your groups stay below that size. That's how the Taliban, that is how the Afghanis have always avoided being completely, wiped out in Afghanistan. They did it with the Soviets, the Russians, and then they did it with us, right? We couldn't defeat the bad guys. They're guerrillas. But what is the response going to be from the federal government if we have an invasion? Well, we would expect the response would be nuclear retaliatory against their capitals, number one. That our Navy would make sure that their Navy is getting a bottom of the sea view of the world. That their Air Force gets its wings clipped. And that whatever they're trying to invade us with is met by a bunch of amphibious ass kickers known as Marines. And of course, the Army would be there to fucking stomp them. That's the hope that the federal government would do. I would hate to see China hit the West Coast and see no response from the federal government and say, well, this isn't a national emergency, kind of like they did when we were attacked in a cyber attack and had our energy on the eastern seaboard affected. Unbelievable. Anyways, dude, seriously, that's about as much as I can take on that topic without, again, I'm not promoting anything illegal, unlawful, or anything else. I want to get to this one, Jolene, real quick. I've got a super chat donation from Cassandra. It says, John, in my world, some of my elderly friends are starting to show symptoms of spongiform encephalopathy. He is now going to be put into a nursing home. He took the Kool-Aid in March, 6 months ago. He didn't listen, and neither did a lot of my friends. Stay frosty, everyone. Don't let the zombies bite you. That's right, folks. In the zombie movies, once a zombie bites you, you become a zombie. I have heard this from a number of people now. Personal people in connection with the Prepared Mind Network. By the way, spongiform encephalopathy is mad cow disease, or a disease that has a similar effect and a similar consequence result. Yeah. I know somebody who works with Alzheimer's patients who are, last I heard, going downhill very quickly after having a glass of Kool-Aid. Thank you very much. And yeah, I'm getting reports from other people that they're seeing these negative symptoms showing up. Brain function, lung function, liver function, kidney function, you know, stuff we need to stay alive. I am waiting and watching and hoping I don't see problems with people having neuromuscular failure because of clotting. It's possible though. All right, we got $5 from Twinkie Toes, or Twinkle Toes, not Twinkie Toes, but Twinkle Toes. It says, what is a glowy? I hear that a lot. What is a glowy? You know what? I try and stay up with shit. Someone help me out here. What the fuck is a glowy? Perhaps Jolene knows what a glowy is, or someone does, and it can pop up on my screen, and then I can describe it properly. But right now, I'm drawing a blank. It has been a hell of a fucking SHTF for the last year plus, and then the last few weeks has gotten worse. And this weekend, hey, you know, there was a short period of time where I actually didn't think about any of this stuff. But the moment you pick up, you know, the phone, the technology, the moment you see somebody, it's a friend, and it's on again. Steve Conlon checks in with a 50-pound super chat donation. Steve, thank you again for your support. This will get some single malt Scottish water in it. This is just about empty, and so your donation will go a long way towards that. I am a big fan of the single malt, brother. Thank you very much for all of your contributions. And again, never let them fucking take from you, Steve. Don't let them take your fighting spirit. That's what they want to do. They want to beat you. They want attrition. They want you to give up before the fight has even started. Age doesn't matter. That's their idea, though, is to break us down, make us weak, get us to quit. And if you don't join the fight, then they consider you a prize. They've owned you. All right, we've got $5 from Kathleen Sims. Said, God bless you and keep you safe. Angels wrap their arms around you. Thank you for everything, for all of your information. I so much appreciate it. Now, this is amazing, and thank you, Kathleen. Thank you very much. This is critical, folks. There are a lot of people who are praying for all of us. For me, you, preppers, for America, for freedom, for liberty, for this planet, for the lives of children. It's incredible, folks, how what you do here makes a huge difference. Because I hear about it. People saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, John. Hey, this is just what I do. Right? And you're welcome. When I hear that thank you, folks, it tells me I'm doing the right thing. And it tells me to keep doing it. You guys are telling people, come in here, tune in and wake up. Learn what's going on. Get into the prepper community. And by the way, I haven't pumped it yet already. The R Syndicate. The R Syndicate, folks. rsyndicate.com. The rsyndicate.com is a website that has all Prepared Mind channels and all the other prepper channels, whether it's how to can food, grow gardens, shoot your guns, build a tent, fire, live in the woods, any of that stuff. It's all at the rsyndicate.com. That is run by Uman. It is the clearinghouse for information. Clearinghouse for information on prepping, politics, etc. And folks, we're at 2 hours and 15 minutes. And we still have over 1,200 live viewers. This is incredible. We got $5 from Brad Jones. He says, are we ever going to have another great Thanksgiving? The answer, sir, is yes. And I'll tell you when it's going to start. In 2021, we're going to have a great Thanksgiving. All you have to do is for you to celebrate it and understand what Thanksgiving was about. It was about people helping people. It was about people sharing, understanding the blessings of life, and having the value of the liberty. Remember, the first Thanksgiving was before there was really a colonial America. It was before the colonies, before the country of the United States of America. It goes way, way back, right? And the myth or story of the first Thanksgiving was the Native Americans helping the white colonial settlers from England, helping them grow plants and share food with them in the bounty of the harvest. And then it was made into a holiday, and Benjamin Franklin had a lot to do with it. Instead of having a feast, he said, let's a fast. Let's have a feast and celebrate with a feast. And that's what Thanksgiving was, celebrating freedom. Now, what was the freedom the Pilgrims sought? That when they had a bountiful harvest season, they got together in. Well, it was right. It was religious freedom, which is personal freedom, which is spiritual freedom, which is individual freedom to think and worship as you will, which extends into philosophy. And philosophy is everything else, folks. It's all natural law. It's natural philosophy. So the Pilgrims, in an effort to get away from tyranny, religious tyranny, came to America and found religious, spiritual, philosophical freedom. But it wasn't until the generosity of others helped them, right, that they had the first Thanksgiving. So when you celebrate Thanksgiving this year, and I know it's October and typically we go to Halloween time and talk, but Thanksgiving is coming. When you celebrate Thanksgiving, celebrate and understand it for what it is. Not just the myth and the great stories and stuff, but for what it is. It's about freedom. Once again, it's about freedom. Now, will the whole country have a great Thanksgiving? When will that happen? Well, when tyranny is defeated, when the wrongs are corrected, and then when we become a prosperous nation again, we can have a truly, truly wonderful feast to celebrate our blessings from the natural order of things. See, that is the natural order, is that the earth, right, will multiply and prosper. Food, animals, people, right? We can become prosperous. Right? Go forth and multiply your corn, your wheat, your chickens, your cows, right? That's what we're supposed to have. And that's the natural order, right? It rains, things grow. Government and tyranny destroys. What are they doing now? They're paying farmers to plow their crops under, to destroy livestock. They're paying people to not go to work. The government pays people to not go to work. That's destructive. Destructive. They're rotten bastards. Okay, let's move on if we shall. We got, Jolene is glowy, says the term glowy is an infiltrator, usually a government-controlled one, who is advocating for some action that brings the group into disrepute. Okay, so a glowy is what I call an agent provocateur. An agent provocateur can be a person, it can be a group of people acting on their own as a group of agents provocateur, or as infiltrators into another existing group, kind of like a parasite. Right? A parasite will go live off of a host and then make it sick. Right? So the FBI likes to get glowies or agents provocateur and put them into a group to act as a spy, to sow discord and disharmony, to offer inaccurate information and advice, to promote illegal activity. And this is when we get into more of what an agent provocateur is, where they go out and they suggest acts of violence that would be non-productive, that would cause more harm than good for the group, the mission, the agenda, or the belief system. So glowy, literally, folks, I've never heard the term. Maybe I've read it and I just think agent provocateur. But that's what the government does. That phrase is actually a French phrase because they were used widely during the French Revolution. After the French really, they didn't put together quite as good a concept, a government concept, as the United States of America, with first our Articles of Confederation and then our U.S. Constitution. The Articles of Confederation were considered too weak in that they didn't make a strong enough federal government. And so they were reconstituted into the U.S. Constitution. But then they said, wait, that's a little too strong. We need a Bill of Rights to limit the government even more so that they don't think of it as an expansive document, but rather a limiting, restricting document. The French, on the other hand, really kind of went overboard with their construction of the government. Their republic was trouble. So they had a lot of, shall we say, agents provocateur, people trying to destroy the government. It's also a tool, folks, agent provocateur of the communists, starting way back, yes, way back in the 1800s. The communists were trying to sow discord, commit acts of violence and anarchy in order to bring about their communist revolution and establish, right, a strong foothold in the European continent. And they did very well in England, but got stopped. They tried it throughout the rest of Europe. That's why Antifa was in Germany in the 1920s, folks. Antifa, been around a long time. Pro-communist, scumbags. But it was in the Soviet Union, or rather, Tsar Nicholas's Russian Empire, that the Bolshevik communists, the Bolshis, that's where they got a stronghold and took over, held a physical revolution, and took over the country, and were successful in destroying old elements of the Tsar's Russia, the Kaiser, the king. Imperial Russia became the Soviet Empire. All right, we got Florida with a $5 super chat donation. He says, any thoughts on ATAC? Currently, no. If you want to ask a more specific question and then give details, you can. Hopefully Jolene sees it, Florida. Folks, we're being attacked. We're being attacked from every side. We're being attacked socially, politically, economically, monetarily, militarily, internationally, medically. Every area of our life is coming under attack. We're being attacked with weather. We're being attacked with chemicals. There is no end to what is going on. We got Strongback Manufacturing checks in with another $25 super chat, and no question from him. Thank you very much. I hope you got the answer you needed to hear earlier, man. But be sure and contact me through the, cell phone. Let me know what the hell's going on, man. Worried about you. We're almost checking in, folks, on 2.5 hours. This week coming up is going to be rough. I say that every Sunday, and every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday following proves us all to be correct in that we need to be prepared. It's going to get worse. We're going to be surprised at how stupid they are, and we're going to be shocked that we can't do anything about it. 1999, Jenny Jen checks in, says, Laters, Prepper fam. Keep you all head up, Semper Fi, and much love. Jenny, say hey to Gray. And thank you for all that you do. Protect yourself. Watch your back. Get prepared. Stay prepared. And live by the courage of your convictions. Because when it comes down to it, that's really all any of us have. All right, we got Alaska Prepper checking in. Holy cow, Alaska Prepper checks in with a $20 super chat. He says, long-time viewer, first time I've ever commented. Thank you very much for fighting the good fight. In the end, we will win as good always prevails over evil. God bless you and this great community. Thank you, Alaska Prepper. Wow. Thank you, sir. Now, here's the deal. When he says, we will win as good always prevails over evil, That is 100% absolutely correct. But I will attach a caveat. When evil fights to this degree and gets this strong, there is a very negative and powerful consequence. Like in World War I or World War II, millions can die, and often millions do. In the Soviet Union alone, when it was created, they killed somewhere between 30, 40 million people, of their own people. Russians, folks. I'm not talking about European World War I or European World War II. I'm talking about just the Soviet Union. War, communism, combined killed tens of millions of people. Oftentimes it's because a government, an evil government, is an aggressor, or multiple evil governments are aggressive. And sadly, people are made to suffer. Ultimately, evil extinguishes itself. Right? The fuel of evil, the more it burns, the hotter it burns, the more it consumes itself, its own resources. That is to say, it attacks everything. When fire burns, it isn't selective. It burns everything in its path. It chars it. It destroys it. And so Alaska Prepper is absolutely right that good will defeat evil. But a lot of bad things happen along the way. So that is why we are preppers. That is why we keep the faith. We keep our faith strong. We look out for our brothers and sisters, and we deny victory to our enemies. We love one another, right? We treat others as we would want to be treated. We turn the other cheek, but not to our enemy. And certainly don't turn your back on your enemy. It's not going to be easy, folks. I don't think I have ever said this will be easy, and it's no guarantee being a prepper that you will get through. I want to get through this, folks. I want to get to the other side. I want to see what's next. I want to see how good prevails, how good defeats evil. I want to get there. No matter what, it's going to be one bitch of a ride. Cleaned that up pretty good, didn't I? There's so much to talk about, folks. So much to talk about. If you have some questions, put them into the super chat donation. Hit that button, put in a question. But I want to bring one story to you, folks. This is a beautiful story, and we've got over 1,100 people still here live after 2.5 hours. Smith & Wesson, long time, well over 100-year-old company. Smith & Wesson makes some amazing weapons of self-defense. Second Amendment weapons. They are moving from Massachusetts to Tennessee. They're leaving the blue and they're going to the red. Why do you think they're doing that, folks? For the same reason Colt, other gun makers want to leave blue areas. Hey, they don't want to ditch families. They don't want to take that tax revenue that would go into the local community. They don't want to take that away from everyone. They're tired of the restrictions, tired of the penalty. Folks, gun manufacturers are being punished by the likes of that bastard, and he is one too, Jamie Dimon of J.P. Morgan. We're not going to make loans to any company that creates weapons that look like they could be military. Shut up, you jackass. The same jackass, of J.P. Morgan, Jamie Dimon, who can afford to have security, personal security, that carries fully automatic weapons carried by civilian security to protect his grisly ass. That's fine for him, but it's always rules for thee and not for me. But God bless Smith & Wesson. I just happen to have two myself, because property that's insured by Smith & Wesson stands a much better chance of not being robbed than property that doesn't. Anyways, love Smith & Wesson. I've always loved that sign. It's been around at least since the 1980s. Little yard plaque, how some say property protected by ADT. This property is protected by Smith & Wesson. That's always good. When someone knows, folks, that there's a good percentage of the neighborhood is armed and they've had it with a bunch of shit, yeah, it's a different attitude. Let us do this. We've gone past the 2.5 hour mark. I am absolutely whipped. This is how I start every week, folks. Mentally fucking drained. Mentally drained. Luckily, I have a good battery charger. And as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to recharge and be ready for this next coming week. The fall. More of this SHTF crap. Get prepared, folks. Never give up. Don't quit. Don't give in. Don't let them disparage you. Don't lose heart. Always faithful. Semper Fi. The courage of your convictions, your belief systems, your morality, your good can defeat their evil. As it ought to be. Nunc pro tunc. Right? Godspeed. Semper Fi, everyone. And I'll be back this week. Come to patreon.com. Sign up. Go to thepreparedmind.club and get what you need. Anywhere you can get it, folks. Get prepared because things are going to get worse. They're not going to get better, sadly. I'll see you soon.